Hi, ISO 27001 Ninja. So today we're going to do a bit of a walkthrough the ISO 27001 toolkit, the ultimate toolkit for 27001. What is it? What does it look like? What is it made up of? What does it contain? So let's walk through it. This isn't a training, this is just an overview, but let's get a sense of what you're going to get. So the ISO 27001 toolkit is a digital download. It's available immediately upon purchase, and you're going to download that as a zip. You're going to unload and unzip that file, and that's going to create this particular folder structure. So we're going to walk through the structure, show you what you're going to get within that toolkit. The first document that you're going to get is the README document. So we're going to open up the README document. That's going to welcome you to the toolkit. It's going to point you at things like the implementation guide, the checklist, and it's going to provide you with a whole bunch of resources for free that are going to support you in your ISO 27001 implementation. It's also going to call out the fact that you get a free 30-minute strategy consultation with me, and all of the resources, and point you in the right direction. And absolutely good luck, you have got this. It's going to provide you with an implementation guide. The implementation guide is a step-by-step guide. It talks you through step-by-step how you're going to do the implementation. Really easy to follow. Total blueprint for the delivery of 27001. Remember, I've been doing governance, risk and compliance now for over 25 years. And this toolkit comes from when I used to run a consultancy business, and it comes from 10 years of actually actively auditing and being audited on clients. It distills all these documents that the professionals use and that I use. It simplifies them, and it makes this the most efficient certification methodology that you're ever going to come across, right? But in terms of this is the implementation guide. You can see that we go through a series of checkpoints, and the level of detail that you're going to go into in here, I'm just going to show you. I'm not going to talk you through it, just showing you what you're going to get. But this is the level of detail that you're going to get about how you brand it and how you go about delivering that. What I'm also going to provide, and what the toolkit also provides you, is this particular checklist. So again, a step-by-step checklist. If you want to, you can go through. It provides you with what needs to be done. It provides you with guidance, who's going to do it and when is going to be completed by you. But the guidance, the resources that talk you through this step-by-step implementation are provided, and it generates a nice handy progress report at the front. Auto-populates it so you can see step-by-step how you're progressing, and then on the project overall. So some people find this useful for reporting back to stakeholders. You're also going to be provided with information security management guides, right? I mean, these are the things that consultants actually do when they do the delivery. And these, well, they charge you a lot of money for it, right? So what I've done is I've broken that down again in easy to understand step by step. So you can see, if we go into here, let's pick one about how to conduct a management review meeting. Management review meetings, don't worry about that. You're going to get into what they are, but what you can see is it talks you through in detail, but simply how to conduct the meeting. So all of the steps that you need are in there. So you're going to be acting like an information security professional, right? This is decades of experience written down and distilled for you. And there's a number of guides on there: management review meeting, how to conduct third-party supplier audits, how to do internal audits, how to do continual improvement, incident management. So there's a whole bunch of guides in there. Absolute value add that teach you how to do what I do for a living, or how to improve the way that you do things if you do what I do for a living. The actual toolkit itself, so this is starting to look at the delivery of the 27001 now. So we break these down into folders that represent an efficient way of delivering the management system, and an efficient way of executing and running the management system. But it's highly efficient. We've removed all the fluff, we've removed all of the padding, and we've also provided it in a way that is audit and auditor friendly, right? Your information security management system is going to get audited a lot, be that through the certification process or be it through your clients. So what you're going to see within here is that the artifacts that are provided are named as clients, customers, auditors are going to ask you for them. And a number of these documents satisfy clearly more than one requirement. So let's have a little look in here again. We're not going to go into detail, But we have our organisation overview document that sets out our positioning and about who we are. We have a context of organisation document that looks at things like internal issues, external issues, interested parties. And there are blogs and video guides on all of these concepts and all of these documents that talk you through it. But I just want to show you today high level what it is that you're going to be getting, and the concept that a lot of these are fully populated already for you, right? I mean, there's a lot of information in here, and where there isn't information, there's guidance on what it is that you need to do. So we've got a context of organisation document. We've got the documentation around our scope, how we define our scope. Again, guides and blogs on how to do that, but this is just the artifact, so this is what it looks like. So we have our scope document that sets out our internal scope and also our scope statement. I'll give you lots of examples, and support around how to craft and write an efficient and effective scope statement. We have a legal and contractual register. The legal and contractual register, again, a requirement of the standard. What you can see in here is that a lot of that has been pre-populated for you, providing you with best practice, specifically around UK law, pre-populated with UK-based laws. Now, clients, obviously, you've got clients in Australia, clients in America. Even in the UK, we're not legal counsel. I can't provide you with legal guidance and legal advice. I can only provide you by way of example. So you're going to use your legal counsel to help populate that. But we have our legal and contractual register. We have two asset registers. So a physical asset register. We have a data asset register that is based on a ROPA. If you don't know the concept of a ROPA, record or processing activity for GDPR, but it also acts as a basic data asset register. And what you can see within here is we pre-populated that as well. So you can either use the clean version or the version that we've provided with examples and documentation that's already within it. I have a software license asset register. This was introduced with the 2022 update. So in the 2022 update, it starts to talk about intellectual property, but intellectual property is heavily focused on software licensing. So 3 asset registers. If you already have these asset registers in systems or in other documentation, you can use those, or it may be a combination. Or if you have nothing, you're a small business coming to this from scratch, then I provide that for you. And in here we have our statement of applicability, so the list of controls that are going to apply to us. Guidance on how to define which controls is provided within the implementation guide and within the blogs and within the videos. But you can see that we've got the statement of applicability for the 2022 version of the standard and for the 2013 version of the standard. The information security management system is documented. A few documents in here that I want to point out to you. So we have information security objectives. You're going to define your objectives, but you can see that I have provided you with common objectives. Most of my clients, most of the people that take the toolkit will use these. Again, pre-populated, so it just takes a lot of the pain away. It shows you what's going to be done, what resources are going to be required. You're going to put in the who and the when, but it's all populated for you. And it all flows. So you can see that the information security objectives are provided, guidance on how to tweak that. We have our information security roles and responsibilities document. This is where we record the information security management system structure, so who it is that's doing what. It's difficult when you come to this for the first time to understand what roles you need. So I provide you with a list of all of the roles that you need, and I give you an overview of what those roles are responsible for as well. That's already documented. So all really you've got to do is just put the names in the frame, understand what the roles and responsibilities are. We have an information security management system overview document. Again, some subtle changes to the 2022 version of the standard. Things about recording contact with authorities. I provide you 2 options around that. Contact with special interest groups, again, how to satisfy that. And you're going to see in here we now have the framework for setting our information security objectives. So I give you the framework about how you do it. It's the steps about how that you go through to complete that. That goes clearly along with the information security objectives spreadsheet. I've got an information security manager's job description. That isn't required necessarily by the standard, but a lot of people say to me, okay, if I'm going to hire somebody to do this, what would that look like? So I provided that, so that's within there. We have a competence matrix that we use to demonstrate that the people in the information security management system have the competencies to run it. So again, guidance and videos on that, but we have a competency matrix. We have an information classification summary. This is a nice handy crib sheet. This actually backs off of the information security classification policy. But this is just an extraction of that and a high-level overview of that. But it's good in terms of people understanding what the classification is, guidance around that, the GDPR implications of that, common examples of data of that type, how we mark up our document controls, and then how we destroy it. So a nice easy crib sheet for people to use there. There's an information security management system document tracker. Basically, this just allows you to manage your system and the versions and where you are with your individual documents. And then we have the RASCI matrix. So the RASCI matrix is an accountability matrix where we're recording who is accountable for the management system and for the Annex A controls. And I provide you with two versions of this for both versions of the standard. So what happens is some organizations want a more mature RASCI matrix, which is fine. So I provide you a full RASCI matrix, which is a responsible person, named, consulted and supported. That's fine. If you want to use that, you can use that. What I also provide is the basic accountability matrix, which does the job, right? So who's responsible, and then who is going to do the job, right? So who's doing the job, who's responsible for it, who's accountable for it. So two versions of the accountability matrix. So you may find that that provides some value if you want to go down that level of maturity, right? In terms of policies, all of the policies that you need. So there are 27 information security management policies, and there are 2 data protection policies, including new policies to support the 2022 version of the standard. So we now have things like the cloud security policy, and it talks you through in detail what that is. Policies are statements of what we do, not how we do it. We cover that many times. So these are the statements of what we do. But every information security policy that you're possibly going to want is provided and fully meets and fully mapped to the standard. And as we scroll through that, if we get to the bottom, what you'll see there is that every policy is mapped. So areas of the standard that the policy addresses is always provided as an annex at the end, so you can see which parts of 27001, 27002, 2013, 2022 this particular policy means. I added that in, right, because for some proper geeks and boffins were like, oh, what particular clause does this meet, or how do I satisfy X, Y, and Z clause? If you don't need it, you can delete it out. It is ninja level when it comes to our policies. I provide you with a number of plans and logs, right? So the information security management system is all about planning. So we have an audit plan. The audit plan just sets out what our plan to audit throughout the year is. We have to audit everything at least once. Again, guides and videos on how you do that. But I'm providing that in here for you. You have a change log. Some people managing change. If you already have a change system, use it. Again, we're looking at the smaller businesses, people that are new to it, who may not have some of these documents that they require. So I provide you with a change log. There's a communication plan. Communication is a big part of the standard. Again, what is it that we're going to communicate? How we're going to communicate it? Who communicating it to? What is it that they're going to say? Can we evidence it and back that up? And what I do is I populate that with for you with some common communication types that you're going to need. We have an incident and corrective. We have a information security management system plan. Misclicked, right? So we have an information security management system plan. Within the 2022 update of the standard, it said that we will now plan for and manage changes to the management system itself. We've always been doing that. Many people will probably have a document that does this. But this sets out common things that have to happen on an annual basis, and then we just come in and populate when it is that we're going to do them. And we have the incident and corrective action log. So the incident and corrective action log for managing incidents and corrective actions, but everything that you would expect to see within here. So descriptions of incident, root cause analysis all the way through, corrective action, and then whether or not it maps to a risk or not. As well as plans and logs, we have risk management. Within risk management, we've got the risk register. The risk register comes with a dashboard, so the dashboard, it can be used within our management reports. And then we have a detailed risk register that has already been populated with common risks that I see. You get the normal things in there: risk description, you've got the original risk scoring, and then you've got the residual risk scoring. I don't need to read the columns to you, so it's just a run through. I give you some guidance on the scoring, and then I give you some 27001 mapping as well if you need it. So you have a highly effective risk register, and I also give you the process about how you manage risk. So everything that you need to manage risk, if you're new to risk and risk management, again, is provided for you within that risk management procedure. Supplier management, I provide you with a supplier register. I also, you've seen, giving you the guide on how to conduct a third-party supplier audit, the annual requirements that you have around that. I provided you that. This is a record of those third-party suppliers, all the information, again, not reading the columns, that you're going to require around that, scoring of them, risk scoring of our suppliers, etc. So you have a third-party supplier register built in as well. A couple of training and awareness materials that you'll get to when you come in diving into the actual toolkit. And then we have audit, right? So audit and gap analysis. So you've got the how to do an internal audit step-by-step blueprint and blueprint guide. You've got an audit meeting agenda template. So if you're going to conduct your audits, you can record those minutes, you can record that meeting to provide your evidences when you're generating your report. We have a high-level management report that you would use to report out your findings, including things like tables, etc. So super high level, observations and risks, etc. And then you've got your working documents. Within your working documents, there are two versions. There is a blank version that you can use to conduct your own internal audits, and then there is a pre-mapped version. In the pre-mapped version, excuse me, in the pre-mapped version, what you can see is for the 2013 version of the standard and the 2022 version of the standard, what we've done is we've gone through and we've pre-mapped the requirements of the standard to the templates and the documents that you have, that the toolkit provides. So it shows you in detail which particular template satisfies which particular requirement, and it's fully compliant in this instance because by the implementation of the templates you will meet the standard. So here you've got a dashboard. When you're conducting your internal audits, you can see the level of compliance that you've got, and you can see as you move through that, you can see all the improvements that you've been making. So internal audit gap analysis is provided. Some people use it for gap analysis on clients, gap analysis of where they are as an organization, and then ongoing the delivery of your internal improvement processes. There's a whole heap of stuff in here around business continuity. So we're bordering a little bit into Annex A. I know it's an ISMS, but I do give you a lot of information around business continuity and templates to help with that, fully aligned with 22301. So you've got things like a business impact analysis that you can see. Again, guides on how to conduct that. You've got exec summaries for the business analysis. You've got your objectives and strategy document for your business continuity, how all that hangs together. So very little work for you to do here, really. A lot of that has already been completed for you. You've got your business continuity plan. So there's a business continuity plan provided for you. Again, it talks you through what that plan would be once you get into the toolkit. And then we've got incident action log and incident review forms that are documents that you'd use when you're testing or going through an actual disaster recovery event. We've got disaster recovery scenario plans, and again providing you with some examples in here, and I talk you through how to do scenario testing, but I give you the templates for that, and then I give you a business continuity desktop test. So we have to do business continuity and disaster recovery testing. So in here I give you an exercise that you can go through. I give you a detailed guide on how to complete the exercise. And then I give you the templates about how you report that out. So there's a whole bunch of stuff around business continuity and everything that you're going to need within there. I also then give you some meeting minutes, some templates that you can use for your annual risk review. So how you would go about doing your annual risk review and recording that and evidencing that. And I give you the management review team structured agenda, which you're going to go through on a periodic basis, and placeholders for all of the items that you've got in there, including then the objectives, which will include in the management review meeting, because we want to be reviewing them on an ongoing basis. And then we've got some stuff in procedures, so some operational Annex A elements that can help and support you. So that is what the toolkit looks like in terms of the documents that you're going to get. Thank you for listening.